amongst the upsets in NFL Week 7, we saw the Commanders get a commanding victory over the Green Bay Packers. Not really that commanding, but it's still, nonetheless, to add to the narrative, I will say it was a commanding victory over the Green Bay Packers. In that upset, Scary Terry McLaurin, happened to have 13 fantasy points, double-digit fantasy points, after 3 consecutive weeks of 5.2, 7.6, and 1.5. Now that's a really scary stat line during spooky season. I would run away from. He's back because Taylor Heinicke's back, and Taylor Heinicke last year, for all his faults as a limited passer, as not really any kind of tier 4 quarterback, barely scratching tier 4, maybe a tier 5 quarterback, Taylor Heinicke was able to feed Terry McLaurin. So that's why I ask you, Andrew Hohman, with Taylor Heinicke now under center for the Commanders, do you think Terry McLaurin will reascend himself to the top of the wide receiver rankings rest of the season?
I do not. I think this is a flash in the pan. Heinicke only threw for 201 yards in this game. Yes, over a third of those were to McLaurin. I just don't know that that's sustainable. Heinicke's not that great a quarterback. He's a backup there for a reason behind Wentz. They went and got him for a reason. I think this is going to be as good a game as you're going to get out of McLaurin. 5 for 73 and a touchdown isn't exactly great. He's not going up to the top of the wide receiver rankings. He's not going to get in the wide receiver 1 conversation playing like this right now.
Well, I don't need him necessarily be in the wide receiver 1 conversation, but do you think Terry McLaurin, rest of the season, I could count on him again as a low-end wide receiver 2? Because I'd be happy if he was that, given his quarterback.
Yeah, of course you'd be happy, especially with where you probably got him in the draft as a mid-range back-end wide receiver 2. I just think he's going to be more of a wide receiver 3 guy the rest of the way. I think if you have anybody in your league who might bite on him as a wide receiver 2, you might take that shot right now.
I hear what you're saying about Taylor Heinicke, and I 100% agree with you. But Taylor Heinicke, he has a little bit of Ryan Fitzpatrick in him to me. Neither are great quarterbacks. Neither are probably even good quarterbacks. But you know what they are? They're guys that know who their playmakers are on the field. They never try and be more than themselves, but they try and get in the hands of people who are more than themselves. And I think that Terry McLaurin is one of the better young wide receivers in the league. And there was a reason that Washington extended him, because they knew his ability and what he brings to their franchise, what he brings to their offense. And I think the target percentage says the tale more than anything. I mean, he got 8 targets. You look around too, Jahan Dotson is out. He's going to be miss another week. Curtis Samuel only had 5 receptions in their last game. I think that Terry McLaurin is the clear wide receiver 1 in this offense. And even though it's a small pie, I still think that the ones that are given, the shares that are given, are going to be valuable ones. I think that Terry McLaurin is still going to be a guy that's targeted in the red zone. He's still a guy that's going to beat defenders. And I think that as we kind of move through the soft Washington schedule, because they have a pretty favorable rest of the year schedule, I think that there's going to be an opportunity for Terry McLaurin to continue to give you scraping, if not exceeding double-digit performances for the rest of the year. And I think that, as we mentioned with the ADP, as we mentioned with the expectations of Terry McLaurin, I think that's what you're asking for. So I'm not asking him to be above and beyond. I don't think that he'll be a wide receiver 1 until Washington gets a quarterback in there. But as long as they have what they have, Terry McLaurin will be a low-end wide receiver 2 for people, and someone that you can start comfortably. Maybe if there's a tougher matchup in there, you choose to bench him. But I think that he's someone that I can count on more than I did.
I think my reservation is that I think that Heinicke might raise his floor, but I think that his ceiling is capped. And that's so fine. I think that's my issue right there.
Chris Godwin or Terry McLaurin, rest of the season?
I would go with both of them. Have a decent floor. I would go with Chris Godwin just simply because I think he has a little bit more upside.
Keenan Allen, Terry McLaurin, rest of the season?
Give me Keenan Allen.
Okay, so at least establishing kind of like where you're at with him. What about a guy like Christian Kirk?
I'll take Terry McLaurin over Christian Kirk. Back to Keenan Allen, I think if Mike Williams hadn't just gone out, I probably would have stuck with McLaurin.
So what about any of the Chiefs wide receivers?
I like Ju-Ju right now. He's looking pretty good. It's toss up there. Hey, they just added Kadarius Toney. Who knows?
Hey, that might be another video, right? Well,
Right?
anyway, guys, hey, maybe you're asking yourself what to do with Scary Terry McLaurin. I don't know if you hate the nickname. Some people like it, some people don't. I know it was given to Terry Rozier a couple of years ago, and he stuck with it, but we'll see if it sticks with the star wide receiver for the Washington Commanders. Anyway, guys, let us know any and all fantasy football questions in the comments section. Leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on social media, Andrew Hohman, Ju-Ju, links in the bio. Stay safe, happy, and healthy, and we will see you on the next one.